Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Knitting with Amanda Panda. Good morning, Michelle. I want to make sure that we get this out. We discussed it yesterday. Mary Andy brought it to my attention on her panel. Um, I noticed people have been sharing it. This is about Lori Page. She's been missing for 8 months. And I just want to make sure that we know the full story of her missing. So this was on Nancy Grace's, and I'm just going to share this, and you guys can get an understanding on what's going on. But it appears that uh, the teachers were the one that did the scouting for her, looking for her. The father is supposed to, he's distraught. The mother is doing her own research, but they have her listed as a runaway. There's nothing to show that this young girl ran away. So God knows I don't really care for Nancy Grace, but let me just do this.
Where is she? Is she dead or alive? Who has her? What's been done to her? Has she been sex trafficked? Is she being hidden? Is she even alive? Let me give you the tip line right off the top. 850-574-TIPS. 850-574-8477. We really need your help. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. This is how the whole thing starts. Take a listen to Lieutenant Laura Varble.
She was reported missing to us on June 3rd.
June 3rd, she was reported missing by her father. He works overnight as a corrections officer at a prison. My whole thing is she's home by herself every time he goes to work. There's no one else there. So how many people knew this young 12-year-old is staying home by herself overnight? It is said that she didn't have any cell phone. She had no social media accounts. Um, she had a computer that the school issued to her, but it was turned in at the end of the school year. According to what they're saying is she had no type of social life. So to me, you're 12 years old. Shit, my granddaughter and grandson had phones when they were 9. I think my grandson was probably 8, but 9. She had to get out some type of way. There is no, well, first of all, the home was never searched. But from what the dad says, there was no sign of forced entry. The neighbors didn't see her outside. She just disappeared. She just disappeared. She had to be communicating with someone.
By her father with very limited information.
Good morning, Kels.
So dad works overnight. He is he works in our correctional facilities. So he left late the night before, returned the next day after his shift, and she was gone. And this was not abnormal. That was their regular pattern.
Okay, let me clarify what Lieutenant Varble is saying. After I started investigating this case, I learned when she says that's not abnormal, she doesn't mean that the girl is gone is not abnormal.
She's not a runaway. She's a good student.
What was not abnormal is the dad works a night shift. Mom's out of the picture. Dad has the 12-year-old girl. Everything's going along fine. He works a night shift, and then he comes home, and she's there. This is a responsible dad who works within the correctional facility.
First of all, I'm going to say he's not a responsible dad. You do not leave a 12-year-old at home overnight. I never left my 15-year-old at home. Even when she was at 10, overnight. That's not responsible. I don't know if there was any family around, but she was there by herself while he worked the night shift. When I first heard this, I thought maybe she was a bad student. And I was thinking all of these things, and then I find out she's a great student. She got a bad grade on a test, and it really upset her. But from everything they're saying, she and the dad had a great relationship. The mom brought it to the dad, and I thought, okay, well, maybe the mom couldn't handle her, whatever the case may be. But then you start listening to it, and you hear that she's smart. She wants to do well. The grade that she received was upsetting to her. The teacher had to tell her that, they'll just have to help her a little bit more in this area. So this whole shit is weird. It doesn't make sense. So this is out of Tallahassee, Florida. Okay. And then we find out that Tallahassee is one of the bigger spots for human trafficking. So let's go.
I believe at a prison, and holds down a regular job and is taking care of his 12.
But Michelle, they're saying that she didn't have any way to do social media. There was a computer in the home, supposedly, but no one has ever went through the computer to see. They've never went into the home to see if there was any kind of disturbance of forced entry. Good morning, Nailed by Rachel. How are you, sweetie?
Your old little girl with me, an all-star panel. But first, I want to go to a special guest who has emerged as an unlikely hero in this scenario.
The mother.
Margie Summers, paraprofessional at Griffin Middle School, very close with the little girl, Lori
Well,
Paige,
that's the teacher, but the mother is doing a lot of behind the scenes shit.
I'm thinking of my little girl, who is now 16. You know what she did this morning? When she left.
Nancy, we didn't want to hear about how your daughter left the house and left the door unlocked.
In this case, we're not seeing that kind of suggestion against Lori's father. Do you agree or disagree?
Yes, iced coffee.
I agree with that.
What can you tell us about their living?
I thought the same thing. Because, my son at one point, way back when, he was a corrections officer. Good morning, Mr. Jimenez. So, they talk amongst their peers. These prisoners have ears. They hear everything. You don't know if someone got out, went there, but there was no forced entry to the home. It doesn't look like there was a break-in. Remember, she's been missing since June 3rd of 2023. 8 months. She was reported missing. No one is doing anything. There wasn't a search party until the teachers got together and started going door to door. Now the FBI has her on the flyer, which I posted, and this has been really, really, really bugging me. So I just want everybody to share this and see, can we find this young girl?
About a year prior to her disappearance,
we don't know. They didn't do any of that, Michelle.
And
the teachers went
basically left her with her father.
So this is the lady that's talking.
Point, her father was.
I don't know why her face is up
there. But the two of them were making a go of it.
Hey, we're all new at parenting. I'm open to any and all advice, and believe me, I get plenty of advice online.
Something
the other day with me, Nicole Parton, crimeonline.com.
Yeah, no social media,
and I want everybody.
She's home alone. Was there a home phone?
We have her on today is not only is she a phenomenal investigative reporter, but she is the mother of 10.
No Amber Alert does not apply in this. No one saw her being abducted. No one said there was a car in the neighborhood. So you have to meet a certain criteria.
Moms that
okay, I'm tired of her talk. I just want to hear about the little girl.
They are incredible. You'll recognize a lot of their names. Margie Summers, I was just thinking about what all this child has gone through, but you knew her.
12-year-old Lori Paige. There she is. 12-year-old Lori Paige.
It's my understanding that she was doing really well with her father, never missing school, upbeat. Is that true?
That is very accurate. And when I later learned that there were issues, I was actually surprised. She was so put together at school.
I just want to guess that she was struggling with issues at home.
Let me go straight out.
She lives in an
Speaking
apartment
of
complex. You can see that.
irreparable harm caused by moms and dads in your youth. Dr. Bethany Marshall is joining us, renowned psychoanalyst joining us out of LA at drbethanymarshall.com.
I don't want to hear
making
that.
sure you're safe in this world, making sure your hair is combed, there's breakfast on the table. The person who's supposed to have a secure attachment with the father, when that person cannot hold on to their relationship with the child, she's perhaps antagonistic with the father, that really destroys a child's
This is the doctor
world.
that's
And I'm going to tell you
speaking.
something about this little girl. Her primary attachments were with her father.
Oh,
with her
snuggle.
siblings.
That's a good
This
idea.
now, the little bit I've heard on this show tells me that this is not a runaway. This is somebody who had attachments in their
I don't think she ran
immediate
away either.
circle. Runaways are children who have such a huge amount of trouble in their home that their primary attachments are with strangers, and that's not the case here.
That's exactly where I was headed, Dr. Bethany. Once again, you've read my mind. Margie Summers is with us, who again has turned into a very unlikely hero. She is the one that has organized the search for little Lori Paige. She is the one being heard on media speaking out about a girl gone, a little girl gone. Now, Margie, I called hunting for information about this girl. And no
Okay.
matter how many times I
Let
called,
me read you what the criteria is for Florida for an Amber Alert. There must be a clear indication of an abduction. The law enforcement agencies investigating must conclude the child's life is in danger. There must be a detailed description of child or abductor vehicle to broadcast to the public. That is the criteria. Yes, she lived in an apartment. You saw that from the picture that was just shown. So that is the criteria. There must be a clear
it
indication
seems as if
of an
police
abduction.
didn't want to speak publicly. Isn't that unusual? But I did notice after I started investigating the case myself, suddenly things started changing and moving. What happened, Margie?
I think your phone calls may have made a difference, and they may have realized that, hey, this is a big deal. 8 months is too long. And
Yeah.
I think somebody just needed to draw some attention to that, so that the startling.
Now, I'm just going to say this. Towards the end, I'm just going to skip around. Nancy puts her fake tears in there saying, is it because she's a young Black child that we're not looking? Her fakeness got to me then. I don't like her fake ass. Never have. She's quick to jump to conclusions on a lot of cases. She doesn't let shit play out. She's just, and I can remember when they had that Michael Jackson trial. Oh my God, he was guilty, 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 guilty. I'm like, is she listening to the same shit we're listening to? And he's done it because he's done it before when it was clearly stated that the young man came forward and said his father forced him to say those things, and he really regretted it. I thought it was dumb for Michael to pay that first money out. But she had him tried and convicted. Then when the verdict came in with not guilties, all of a sudden, well, they really had no case. They really had no this. They really had, but we knew that right then and there. But you didn't listen to what was being presented in the court. And you used to be a prosecutor. Okay, let's go.
Fact that she's been gone 8 months would shine through again.
Well, what have they done since I started poking around?
From what I understand, they've added a whole lot of resources to the case, additional detectives. They're doing a lot more legwork. They're starting over from the beginning. So it's almost like the whole investigation has kicked off in high gear.
Well, I wish this had happened.
Damn it, Mandy, we don't know if they had door cams or not. There was no investigation done. They just put her down as a runaway. They said the father is distraught. Now here comes the mother, Captain Saberchild, who hasn't been around. And the night before she disappeared, the mother and the father got into it, and he called the cops to have her removed from the premises. So my whole thing is, the mother is out here in the forefront. If this little girl is not in danger, in my opinion, the mother knows something. Or the father. He's not out there searching for his daughter. Something is very, very fishy.
From one class to the next, even though it was across the hallway, just to make sure she wasn't tardy. So she was friendly with other students and she talked to them, but she was way more serious about school than anything else.
Guys, where is this little girl? What do we know? Listen to Lieutenant Laura Varble.
She was home by herself. He had worked nights since she had come to live with him, and she would always be home while he worked his overnight shift. It was
I would change my damn shift.
So it's like
or find another damn job.
And there was a neighbor reference, obviously, for her, an adult person, that if she needed something.
Okay, so there was a neighbor that knew she was home, and if she needed something, she can go to the neighbor. That was a neighbor reference for her, that if she needed something, she can go to the neighbor. How do we know that neighbor didn't tell somebody that little girl is home? How do we know the neighbor didn't knock on the door, since the little girl is familiar with her and somebody didn't pay her to get this little girl to open the door so they can take her? How do we know this? I would be looking at that damn neighbor. Kel says, sorry, hon, I was behind. Oh, no one's look. They are now. They marked her as a runaway, saying that she could have run away with somebody she met online. But according to what everything is being said, she had no social media. I said, that's bullshit. She's 12 years old. This little girl is talking to somebody. Someone she's talking to. She could have got a cell phone from one of her friends. Somebody could have sent her a cell phone. You don't know. Someone could have gave her a cell phone at school, and the father, and she's been hiding it. We don't know.
Reach out to.
Okay, to Chris McDonough joining us, director of the Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective. I found him on his YouTube channel, The Interview Room. Chris McDonough, thank you so much for being with us. Does it irritate you as much as it irritates me that this child had been labeled a runaway? You know how many cases I've covered where the child was first designated
Miss
a
hair is
runaway
looking better,
and they end up dead?
100%, Nancy. I mean, in this situation, obviously, 12-year-olds, they just don't disappear. They can, sometimes circumstances, they do run away. However, in this particular case, if we look at it, from a 30,000-foot view, you got to take into consideration, and we've talked many times on your show about this, the victim risk continuum. And when you look at that, this child falls within a medium risk in relationship to the totality of her life circumstances.
Tina, you know what I was talking about.
I don't even know what you're saying. She's a medium risk in totality with her life circumstances. What in the hey are you saying? Can you listen? I feel like
She cuts everybody off. Like their opinion just doesn't matter. They have nothing to offer. She cuts everybody off. I know shit is running through your head like you're pointing to it, but please let this man finish speaking. But I want to hear nothing more.
Someone read a police report.
But I put the link.
Medium category for what?
Nancy in the thing, and you guys can follow the interview room, which I do too.
Out of the home, through an internet situation, through anything.
So at medium risk for kidnap or luring, is that what you're saying?
Luring.
Okay. Yes, medium risk because of what? Because just so you know, we have learned that she did not have a social media profile. She was not online.
Right.
That doesn't mean she didn't have a social media profile. That just means that she's not using her picture and her real name. That doesn't mean she doesn't have a social media profile. I found out my grandson was on IG. quite by accident. I found out my granddaughter is on IG. So when I found their pages, because the dumbasses that, well, not dumbasses, they actually like one of my posts. So I went to look and I'm like, huh. And so I just started going through and, I was like, okay. So I asked him, I said, is this you? Is this you? Yep. I said, okay. That doesn't mean that she doesn't have a social media profile. That's just mean it's not under her name. It's not with her picture. Kids use avatars of these animes and shit.
Well, that's not uncommon for, somebody to within the family to say, well, wait a minute, she could have had a phone, she could have had access to her friends.
Thank
There
you.
could have been a variety of circumstances. And that's why I'm saying you take a look at her environment, the totality of her environment. Who are our friends?
Thank you.
What access points to the internet does her father or friends have? And those are kind of things that kids, more than anybody.
He had no
I've raised
computer,
4 of them.
according to them.
They
But then there was a
sometimes
computer
use
in the
their
home.
friends' stuff. And that's the kind of
Well, the only
access
thing that
points.
raises a risk in my mind is the fact that her dad had to work overnight and mom's not in the picture at all. She had
Everything raises
recently
a risk
moved
in
to
my
the
mind
area. I
for a
guess Marcy
12-year-old not
Summers,
to
it
have
was
any kind
over
of
a year
social
ago.
media or any kind of social or any kind of friends,
Yes, it was
except for the ones in school.
approximately a year earlier. I think it may even have been August, so the beginning of 6th grade.
Gotcha. Listen to this, guys.
She was recently moved to the area to live with dad. She had been with dad for about a year. She has had a lot of things happen in the course.
Take a picture of that or use my post on IG, on my post on YouTube. Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Now Tallahassee says she's a missing runaway. Okay. The FBI says that they believe she's in danger now. There's a poster up. Hi, Monita. How are you?
Of her life. So
thank you, Monita.
There could be several reasons with regards to her background. We just really can't speculate as to which that could be.
To Dr. Bethany Marshall, I want to follow up on what we're hearing the lieutenant say about having had a tough time of it. Starting a new school is hard enough on its own. Then your dad is gone. You get home in the afternoon and your dad leaves to go to work. So she's there by herself.
He leaves at night.
Musing about whatever happened during the day, maybe being homesick. So that's difficult.
Nancy, that's profoundly difficult. You know how
thank you,
much time
Michelle.
spend with your kids,
especially if you don't have a mother.
The events of the
we
day.
need to know the neighbor.
And imagine there's
we
no
need to
one
check
there
into
to
the neighbor.
process the events of the day with her. So if she is falling prey to some,
we need to call Sheriff Grady.
House, there's no one for her to.
I don't think she's a runaway either.
House to steady her, to help make sense of her experiences. And just to boil this down even further, this is a little girl who ran from class to class, even if the other class was across the hallway. This tells me she was a good little girl. Good girls.
Good girl.
Right? Little girls who can't say no. She's going to be hungry for attachments. Anybody who gives her love, anybody who says they can fulfill her needs, anybody who says, I'll keep you safe. I know you.
MRE is live, damn it.
Parents, she's going to gravitate to those people because she is like a thirsty little plant. Every little drop of water is going to make her spring to life, even if it's from a predator.
Joining me now is high-profile family lawyer, joining us out of North Carolina, now at triangledivorcelawyers.com. Kathleen Murphy, before you tell me what you think, I want you to hear this. Take a listen to Sydney Sumner, crimeonline.com.
When police began looking into the disappearance of 12-year-old Lori Paige, detectives started by looking for her digital footprint. But Lori Paige has no digital footprint. She's not on social media. Old school methods are being used to find the middle schooler, knocking on doors and talking to neighbors, putting up flyers with her name and personal details, sharing information with neighboring police agencies, and asking the public for help.
Knowing that, according to police, there was no digital footprint. She's not on Snapchat. She's not on Insta. They can't find her anywhere. But we do know there was a computer in the home.
Oh,
We know
he
that
showed he was
because
live.
Scott
Thank
said
you.
that. But
Leave
yet
it
he
up,
did leave a
MRE.
footprint. What does this mean to you, Kathleen?
It means to me that the police have not gotten that computer and looked at it carefully.
Thank
It
you.
also means to me that the police have not fully investigated this case. 12-year-olds are going to find a way to connect with somebody that makes them feel good. They're going to have that reach out. And if she's alone for a significant amount of the evening and nighttime, and she has a computer and she has access to the computer, I wonder if the police have reviewed that computer.
Good question. Margie Summers, did the school have computers? Could she access a computer at school?
Yes, they were issued computers.
Matter of fact, Nancy, all of the kids at our school are issued computers, and they maintain those computers with them and take them home at night, charge them, and bring them back to school each and every day.
So the question is, school ended in June or May. I think Tallahassee is like it is on the East Coast, May, or the first week of June. She turned the computer in. That doesn't mean all of these nights that she's at home alone while she had her school laptop, she wasn't communicating with someone, and they know the laptop that was issued to her. They can do an analysis on that as well. So that doesn't mean she wasn't communicating with someone. That doesn't mean she wasn't meeting someone or having someone over when her dad was at work. They need to look at every single thing and try to find this young child. Black or white, it doesn't matter. She's missing.
Every student at Griffin Middle School has a Chromebook.
So she did have a computer. Has that computer been found, Margie?
I do not know the answer to that.
Well, wouldn't they have returned it to the school?
Yes, she would have checked it in at the end of the year, and I'm quite certain that she did, because just the kind of student she was. I also wanted to mention, based on what your other guest said regarding her self-esteem, I know that Lori received results of a negative test score. She was absolutely distraught and feeling terrible about her test score. She is the only student that I've ever had to say, Lori, it's not that serious. It just means we're going to have to help you in
Exactly,
this one
Snuggle.
area. Other students, to get them even interested in their test scores is a bit of a chore, but not Lori. She took that low score very much to heart, and I was actually concerned about how sad she was regarding
Oh,
that
the
test.
fakeness. Oh, Jesus, the
That
fakeness.
just breaks my heart.
Oh
That
my
breaks
God, I
my
can't
heart.
with her.
Here's me,
I
like,
can't.
poor-
Okay. I can't.
And like you said, she's a baby. She's 12. She cannot sustain 8 months by herself.
I just pray to God that she's still alive. And speaking of this little
Her
girl,
eyes have a
nature,
nice
I
shape to
want you
them.
to hear what the mom has to say. Listen.
This is
Did
the mother.
she leave in the middle of the night to go be outside voluntarily without being manipulated? In no world does that make sense. She wouldn't be outside in the dark. She
That's
is
right.
scared of everything. How are you outside in the dark for this long? And who's feeding you? Who is feeding this child? Because again, I know my child. Her first word was eat.
So, Dr. Bethany Marshall, when the mom tells us that, how scared the child is, she's afraid of the dark, she doesn't like the outside,
But the daddy leaves
she
her home.
loves to eat, she loves the meals. What? None of this makes sense with the phrase that this little girl just took off. I'm just not buying it.
No, none of it makes sense. I mean,
When she disappeared, it was nighttime. What do you think this little 12-year-old girl is going to go out and take an Uber? That did not happen.
No, and her mother knows her daughter, right? I mean, who best would know her?
And her
than own
backpack is
parents?
missing as
However,
well.
one thing concerns me, and that is that the mother is talking like a police detective, not like somebody who's concerned about her daughter. Now, I'm not saying she's not concerned, because she might be shocked, dissociated, unable to express her love. On the other hand,
a mother who's this methodical and detached.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm
um,
going to defend them.
Okay, so just like she did MJ, but when her friend was questioned in his wife's murder, the attorney, oh no, she jumped to his defense and then she said, oh, I'm going to sit back and be biased. No, you weren't. You were on every day talking about it and how he couldn't have did this. You know this, you know that, which he didn't do it, but you jumped to conclusions too quick about people that you don't like. But she's going to defend the mother here.
Mother, in defense of what the mother is saying, she's
A
extremely
puppy show. Yep, she's a clown.
and
A puppy
angry
show. I
that
like that. Hi,
police
Wit.
and
Good morning.
others have just written Lori off as a runaway. Take a listen to what Mrs. Brazzi, the mom, has to say about her daughter being labeled a runaway.
The police report said that she ran away, and there's no
She didn't
reason
run
why they
away.
believe
I think
that
she was
she was
coerced out the
taken.
house.
And that
I
is
think
the
someone
dumbest
that she
thing
was
I've ever
talking to
heard, because
convinced her to come with them and she was going to get the attention that she
you
needed.
can
That's what I
voluntarily
believe.
leave under manipulative circumstances. So, and then whether she voluntarily left or not, she's a child.
She's a child. Thank you.
What rights do children have to move around as they please?
They don't.
Can she get in the car and voluntarily drive
Nope, she can't.
down your block?
Nope.
Because just as sure as she gets in a car and starts to drive it, that's going to be a problem. But when she voluntarily leaves and is
Nope.
missing,
They think the father's distraught, but the police still
like, this
haven't
doesn't
did
make sense.
anything.
Things that don't
They
make
labeled her as a
sense make
runaway,
me
and that's
upset.
it.
I get irritated. Where is Lori Paige?
She's responding to her daughter being called a runaway, and it doesn't make any sense.
You know, Nancy, I completely retract my comments from before. She's sounding like a police detective because there are no detectives helping her. She's
None.
having to think this entire thing through herself. And she makes the most excellent point. Even if a child walks out of a house to a stranger, that's not voluntary. It's never voluntary when a minor leaves the house and never returns. So this poor mother is falling back on her own psychological and
flower
mental
power.
resources to find her
Might as
own
well come
child.
under
Can
your
you
name.
imagine if
Jesus
John
Christ.
David or Lucy went missing and you had to be the detective? You had to
You
sort
know,
it
another
out, and
thing,
you had
Dr.
no
Bethany, I
training?
think that she's doing, I'm certainly no shrink. I want everybody else on the panel to jump in on this. She's methodically, as best she can, going through what she left, a 12-year-old. Well, who's going to feed her? What is she going to eat? She's
Thank
afraid of the
you.
dark. She wouldn't have done that. But if she get in a car, she's not going to drive. I mean, she's going through all these permutations of
The backpack, guys, she put a lot of food in the backpack that's going to sustain her for 8 months. No money. Let's not forget, 12 years old, no money. She cannot drive. She supposedly left with a multicolored backpack. Someone has this child. Someone has this child. Period. Point blank. You can say she's a runaway, whatever. Someone had to coerce her to leave that home. And I think it's someone she was talking to. They need to find that school computer that she was issued, because they do know what computers they give you. They assign the charger. They write down that charger number. They write down the serial number on that computer. They know what computers are issued to each student. I went through it 2 years in a row with going to the school, picking up the laptop, picking up the charger. And the chargers started issuing the chargers and giving you the numbers, because if you lost the charger that went with that laptop, you would have to pay for that charger, which I had to, because someone stole Kayla's charger. And then they would issue you a new one. So they know what charger goes to what laptop was issued. Grab the school laptop and do a forensic analysis on it.
possibilities and ruling them out. And I have found, Dr. Bethany, that when you're faced with this horrible happening, you try
Exactly.
to make sense. You try to apply logic to an illogical situation, and it doesn't work. and it gets harder and harder and more difficult. And that's what I hear the mom doing.
You know, I agree with you. And
I
you know,
wish you
part
would
of
just
being
leave
a
Paige's
mother is
picture up. We
something
don't
called
want to see
maternal
these people with these
preoccupation.
filtered ass
And
fucking
what that means
pictures.
is no matter where
Thank
your
you. Leave
child is, no
Paige's
matter
picture
who's
up.
taking care of your baby, you're thinking about them
So
all the time. Now imagine your child is missing. That's going to be thinking about your child in a desperate kind of way. I liked your
no,
use
you
of the word
can
permutations.
access the
She's
internet.
trying to think of every single
You
possibility.
definitely
But not only
can
that,
access
these
the
are
internet
remote
on those
to
things.
questions of
Yes,
people around
you're
her.
right.
Like,
What about it, Megan crying? You're hearing Dr. Bethany Marshall. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, yeah, the mom's out of control. She has no control, right? Can you imagine? I have 2 children, not knowing where they are, and for 8 months. I mean, we're coming up on a year.
What the mom is saying right now makes a lot of sense to me. Guys,
mhm.
also the specter of a mother's and father's worst nightmare. Take a listen to what the mom, Miss Brazzi, says.
Tallahassee has some of the worst sex trafficking in the state. And it's 20 minutes to Georgia.
They say no
So
foul
yes,
play is
yes,
expected.
I'm concerned. Very
It's
concerned.
suspected.
Joining me,
But the,
Nicole Parton,
hold on.
crimeonline.com.
But the FBI has her on the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program with their flyers, and they're saying she's in danger. 2 different flyers, 2 different agencies. Make up your mind. Is she in danger or not?
Investigative reporter. Isn't it
Good
true
morning, brown
that
eyed
we have
cutie,
learned
my
the night
sweetie.
before she goes missing, she and her dad were at home as normal, watching TV, no problem, correct?
But the night
That is
before,
correct. Yes, ma'am.
Now, he then goes to work, and there are witnesses that saw them there together, chilling and watching TV. Everything was fine. Yes, no.
Yes, correct.
Then he goes to work as usual at a nearby prison facility. He works at a CI, Correctional Institute. He goes to work. Everything's fine. Locks the door. She's there. He comes home the next morning and she's gone. Yes, no.
Yes.
Now, Nicole Parton, there was one unusual circumstance that happened.
now they never said if her bed was slept in that night. They never said anything like that. Never ever said that. So there's foul play. Now listen to what happened the night before, and then I got to get out of here.
Evening. Didn't the mom show up at the house and that upset Lori?
She did. The mom showed up at the home, and there was an altercation to the point that her father, being protective, called the police and said, "Can you please come out and remove the mother from the home?" The police were not at their home all of the time. This was a good man. Things, it's not like the cops were coming out every weekend. This was one incident where the mom showed up. The father did the right thing, called authorities, and said, "There's an altercation.
Probably 6.
My daughter is upset." And the police
6:30.
came out
She
and
works
asked
the
the
night
mother
shift,
to
which is
remove
like
herself from the home.
anywhere
Kathleen Murphy
between
joining
9 and 10 hours.
Family lawyer. I'm sure this is not the first time you've seen trouble against warring exes, and the child is the casualty.
I still have to do my hair.
And
So
these
I need to
children
look.
at age 12 start to find their voice. They haven't quite found their voice, but they don't like that. They're going to want to speak to a judge, speak to their teachers, and speak out about what they should not be subjected to. And this little girl probably saw something that traumatized her.
Margie Summers with us, paraprofessional at Griffin Middle School, who knows Lori very well. What do you make of it?
I believe that it was an upsetting incident because the cops never showed up at their house. For the cops to even have to be called would have been traumatic in and of itself. And I'm sure after that happened, I'm sure her mind was whirling.
Well,
she was.
He didn't go
trying to
in
figure
at
out what to
4
do.
because they
You
were
know,
home
maybe
that
turn
night
to a
and they saw them
stranger.
watching TV
Maybe she
together.
turned to a stranger to process the experience, or somebody was already predating on her.
So he did that
And
third
at this
shift.
point, she had nobody to process it with, which made her incredibly vulnerable to anybody who showed love and wanted to talk to her.
So she's
I feel like Lori.
Go
I feel
ahead.
like Lori. I feel like Lori may have been overwhelmed. Even the bad grade she got on the standardized test overwhelmed her, and the burden of it was far too great for what's normal. And I'm sure the burden.
You know, someone said something in the chat that the dad probably held her to a high standard with her grades, and she knew that would have probably upset him. I never thought about that either.
Burden of what she just saw and maybe even felt responsible for would have weighed heavily on her. And I know sometimes when kids are overwhelmed, they flee that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Dr. Bethany, what do you make of that?
Well, I think what's happening with 12-year-olds is that they're slowly reassigning their attachments outside of the home. And this serves a biological function of preparing them to leave home when they're 17, 18, or 19. So already they're looking outside the house. But this little girl, her primary interest was with her parents. You can imagine your parents fighting. And the idea, kids blame themselves. Whenever the parents fight, whenever a parent's neglectful or abusive, I'm not saying these parents were.
Exactly,
they do
damn
not
it, Mandy.
know
Who would
that
she know? That's going to
failure is
give her
on the
shelter.
parents. They think
I
the
hear
failure
you.
is in
I hear
themselves.
you. And I would love the opportunity to psychoanalyze Lori Paige, the 12-year-old missing girl.
But she's missing.
We have to find her first. And right now she's labeled as a runaway. She may have been upset that her mom and dad were having this war and there was a verbal confrontation. The cops came over and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But where is she? I mean, is it just
Oh
me?
my God.
Jackie,
Yes. Where
help
is
me.
she?
We have to
Okay.
find the
Enough
girl.
of her.
I don't need
I
to
can't.
figure out what she's thinking right now. I need to find her and get her to safety. If she was upset that night and went out and sat on her front porch, if she went outside in the front yard, where the hay is she now? Now,
She was in an apartment.
Margie Summers state that the computer was handed in. So whatever computer she had was not the school computer. But witnesses saw her on a computer watching TV with her dad before she disappeared, before the mom came and raised a ruckus. So where is she now? I think I hear Chris McDonough.
There you go.
Can we psychoanalyze this child later after she's safe?
Yes, I get it.
Okay. We don't want to. Okay.
Summers, what do you think about the claim she had no social media presence? She didn't text. She didn't email. Nothing.
I never saw her personally involved with social media, but I will say she was smart, and all of the kids
Nope, she
at
doesn't
our
have a
middle
history of
school
running
are
away.
tech savvy. They're issued a computer for the duration
Why would you
of the
be taking
year.
a walk at night?
So to think that she wouldn't know how to use a computer or how to get on the internet would be categorically false.
Yeah.
All the children
And
here use the internet every day.
And we at Child Hub, we're seeing an uptick in human trafficking. It's rampant. And that's where my head went first as well.
Is this Megan
And,
Crine?
Yes, it's Megan.
Okay, tell me about that. And why was it stated by the mother that Tallahassee is notorious for sex trafficking? It is close to the Georgia Florida line,
border.
very close,
Yep.
and close to I-75, which takes you all
And
the way from Florida
I-10.
to New York City.
Straight
and beyond.
I-10.
And I'm just
And
thinking,
I-10, we're on I-10. We are exactly
Thank you.
dead center. It runs through the middle of our town. I-10 runs all the way.
We have I-10. We have the serial killers on the I-10 corridor. I-10 runs from there to California. From I-10 runs straight through. Okay.
Way from Jacksonville to California.
You know, another
and
thing.
she sounds like Lori sounds. I'm sorry, Nancy.
No, go ahead, please. What I was going to say is, I'm wondering, I had a girl disappear from a stadium, an arena, a football game. And you know how they found her? Her face popped up on an internet, I want to say dating website, but it was an escort site. This child had been taken and was being pimped out of a hotel. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
so sad.
I don't let them go to the restaurant by themselves in a movie theater.
And we have the Child Help Speak Up, Be Safe curriculum, which schools across the nation can implement.
Oh my
And it
God,
teaches
the
kids,
filters.
I'm old enough
Jesus.
to remember the good touch, bad touch. and this is an offshoot of that. And we just implemented a human trafficking prevention curriculum.
Good
So
morning,
just to make
Pam.
sure
Out.
if this did happen.
Based on what
This
Megan
was June
Klein
3rd, summer,
from childhelp.org
2023.
is
She went
saying, Chris
missing.
McDonough, we have no indication the child is dead yet.
You're
But we
right,
don't
pretty
know where
much.
she
Someone
went. The
knows
phone
something over
apparently
there.
wasn't processed. The police still think she didn't have a social media presence.
Pam,
I
thank you for
don't know if
coming
she had a
in.
phone or not. I don't think she did. So what in the hay do we do now? I mean, if it hadn't been for Margie Summers, there would not have even been a search. Oh, by the way, Margie, where did you search? What did you do during your search?
Me and some of the other teachers, staff members from the school got together and we handed out flyers in the immediate area. And then also on other days, I just went to some of the local convenience stores, taped them up there in case she popped in and out for a drink or a snack. Somebody would see her. I also asked the police, is there a place that we can look? Is there anywhere that we need to focus to put flyers? And they just had no search parameters at all. So I hit a couple apartment complexes, spoke to the managers, gave them flyers in case they saw her in their pool area, on one of the chairs, something like that. But it was really, really hard to know where to look because there's just not any clues in any particular direction.
I'm just thinking, about what Margie Summers said. Chris
I can't
McDonough,
with
this
her.
little girl.
I can't with her.
The teachers got together and did a search for her.
I'm gonna let you watch this fake
It
bitch
wasn't the police,
and how she
as I
behaves.
said. It wasn't ATVs and helicopters and
Oh,
heat-seeking sonar. The teachers got together. Why is this happening to this little girl? Why hasn't anybody championed her? Is it because she's black? What is that it?
oh my
That
God.
nobody cares about a 12-year-old little girl?
Oh my
I
God.
mean, look at her, Chris.
Look at her. Put a
Nancy,
picture up,
nobody
Nancy.
Ever,
Thank you.
ever wants to see a child injured.
Okay, that was it for me. That's all of it. I skipped through a few parts with all these other people talking. Her fakeness got to me at the end when she was being fake as her, because I kept remembering the way she handled certain cases. I was just like, I'm like, I can't with you. I can't with you. I can't with you. So please share the video. Please share the posters. Put them up on your social media. Please, 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 please. Let's see, can we find this missing 12-year-old? I'm not going to say because she's black. Okay. I think the way the case has been handled has been screwed up from the beginning. Need to find out the father, where they said she went missing on June 3rd. I still work. The father is so distraught, but he was still going to work. I just think this whole situation is really fishy. Yes, Angel put it up on her live last night. I had got in there and she was just putting it up because I asked that it be shared. So yes, I don't like her either. I really don't. I used to like Nancy Grace, but then I found Beth Karras, who has more compassion, who's more genuine than what she is. Just share, please. Let's just get the word out and see. And I don't even know how to start searching escort sites to see if her picture is there anywhere. I guess we can take the picture and do a reverse search on it. I don't know, but someone has this little girl. Someone coerced her to come out that home. Someone she's probably been talking to. Because you're not telling me a 12-year-old does not have access to the internet and has no social media. Someone could have sent her a phone. You don't know. Her dad is never home. Someone could have gave her a phone at school. You never know. She could be hiding it. We watch all these stories on ID Discovery, how they take the kids' phones, and then the kid has another phone that they were given, and they're hiding it. So I don't want to hear none of that bullshit. So someone knows what his little girl is. I need to get out of here. You guys have a great Tuesday. Let's just share this and get it out there. Her mother could have given her a phone. Exactly. We don't know. But the mother took her to the father's house. We don't know why the mother decided to give her to the dad. Have no idea if the mother was going through a rough time. Don't know. They're not giving us the full story. And hopefully sometime this week, I'm going to find the time. My schedule is freaking ridiculous. And I'm back in the office. And yesterday was just hell when I was in the office yesterday. So everyone have a great day. I need to go listen to a couple of lives. I popped into Shooks for a bit. I was in there for maybe 15, 20 minutes and I had to leave. I need to go start from the beginning. I need to start from the beginning on Angels Live because I popped in and I was listening. I was there for like a good 30 minutes, I guess, but I fell asleep somewhere in there because when I woke up, she was off. So I need to really go back and watch her live to see what the hell is going on. Yes, I have a job. I have a life. I can't sit on YouTube all day, although I do pop in chats and listen from time to time. Like normally right now, I'd have been listening to Bambi as I'm getting ready for work. And then when I'm driving, I'm listening to music because I need to get my mindset. Yeah, well, Angels Live was great. Okay, all right. I'm going to go catch it from the beginning. I think I'll listen to that as I'm working this morning. But everybody, please hit the like button. I never say that. I need to start saying that. Please hit the like button. Please, 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 please. I don't ask for anything else. Still don't have my gilded bird cage. I don't have my lovebirds, and I don't have my coupling house. But that's okay. I'm just going to come online and start crying and pretend my whole world is falling apart. And maybe then you guys will appreciate the great content that I bring to you. Okay, I'm just joking. Love you guys. My six-figure lifestyle. Okay. I need to find out where my money is going because it's good on paper. It is good on paper. But when you're paying for this, that, yeah, it's good on paper. It looks good. Get tax high, but it looks good. Anyway, I love you guys. You have a great, great day. And I will see you soon. Thursday, I promise. I feel a lot better. Debbie's going to let me go live. I feel a lot better. Hopefully. Thank you, Susie. I really appreciate that. I just want you guys to share this, please. I know there are so many people that watch from all kind of different states and countries. Just please just share. I really, really would appreciate that. I will see you guys later. But as I said, Thursday, Debbie's going to allow me to go live on More Than Sure because I feel better. Hopefully she's back from Barbados. Even though she was doing lives from there, but she really didn't like it. So I'm coming back Thursday. I promise. We're coming back. And I've been watching Prison Wives too. And I was so excited when I was in Debbie and Jamal's the other day. They were discussing Prison Wives. But I've been watching that. So that is funny as shit to me. It's scripted. I think it's all scripted because I damn sure am not going to be engaged to some man that's been convicted of second-degree murder and trying to get, are you crazy? These people are nuts. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm out of here. Let me do my hair. Prison Wives, yes. Let me get my hair and stuff done, and I would definitely talk to you later. I dropped Nancy's Grace thing in the let me drop it again, and you can also go to the interview room. He's actually talking about it as well, but let's try to get the word out. Marsha E, hi, sweetie. Hi. And it's someone that always comes in when I'm going off, and I can't remember who it is. I wanted to say hi to them because I know they come in after I go off. But you guys that catch the replay, I'm gonna be like Angel now. Hit the like button, please, 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 please. I forgot. I was supposed to put Angel Gotti's name in all my thumbnails from now on. So when you see Angel Gotti's name in my thumbnail and her picture, just know I'm doing it for clicks and views. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, what's Bambi's channel? Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me give it to you. How you gonna give it to you? Hold on, let me go get Bambi's channel. Shit. Bambi's channel is, damn it, I need to drop it. Hold on. It's Bambi P. Hold on. Let me get it. I'm gonna drop it in here for you. Today she's doing Rolling Tuesdays, I guess. Okay. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Let me drop Bambi's channel in here. Control C. There we go. That's Bambi's channel right there. There she goes. That's Bambi. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Bye.